Occasionally, there's things that pop up during the week, and I have got to jump on and talk about it. And so here we go with a special edition of the Sports Rush. I am Brett Rump. Glad you're joining me for this midweek edition. Don't forget, coming up Thursday, 4:30, it is week 2 of the high school football picks of the week. I'm going to tell you all the winners and losers and the final scores of Friday night games on Thursday. Yeah, you'll be the first one to know all the finals, who won, who lost, and you'll get to do it before the games even begin. In fact, 24 hours in advance, because at 4:30 on Thursday every week, you get the high school football picks of the week right here on this channel. That means you want to make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit the bell, and always like our videos. It certainly helps with our YouTube algorithm, and that would just be the nice thing for you to do. Last night, what the heck is going on with the Fever? Who are these people? I mean, we literally don't know who these people are. I mean, you almost lost Lexi Hull last night. Head-on collision, knocking noggins, and Lexi Hull ends up with a big knot on her forehead, but still was able to play her way through, show some toughness, rub a little dirt on it. Lexi Hull ends up leading, well, not leading, but being one of the keys in the Fever's win, 95-75 over Seattle. That is a huge victory for the Indiana Fever. Big, big home win, because now they got to go on the road and they're going to head out west. They've got the Los Angeles Sparks coming up next. And then they've got to go and take on a tough Valkyrie squad in the San Francisco Bay Area. So those are going to be two games that are going to be tough, because I don't think they've beaten the Sparks yet. I think they've lost each meeting against the Sparks. And the Valkyries are fighting for a playoff spot. So these two games could be pivotal in whether or not the Fever will put themselves in a position to get a playoff spot, and it might determine whether or not we see Caitlin Clark on the court again this season. But certainly impressive with this group of, I almost call them vagabonds, because it's a group of players that had basically been cast off, so were looking for jobs and just happened to be on the open market. And the Fever is like, we need a player. What are you doing? Well, I'm just shooting at the local Y. Okay, why don't you come play with us? That's basically the Fever putting a roster together. It's unbelievable. And no offense to these players, because they've performed well. I mean, given the opportunity, they have stepped up and they have played well. And last night was a good example. I mean, they fought against the Lynx. The Lynx is just too good of a basketball team. And, you know, they gave it their best, but the Lynx is the best in the league for a reason and just fell short. But then they put together the same kind of game last night and ended up pounding Seattle. I mean, they raced out to a lead. They just kept extending it. They eliminated any kind of runs. And the next thing you know, they were up by 30-some points in the fourth quarter and ended up cruising to a 20-point win. So a big win for the Fever last night. Also, what about the comments with Chris Ballard? I want to get your feedback on this. I would love to have your comments and your thoughts about Anthony Richardson losing the quarterback battle to Daniel Jones. And now Anthony Richardson, what did the Colts do with him? Well, Chris Ballard made it very clear that the Colts have no intention of trading Anthony Richardson. And I don't know if the market is all that strong for Anthony Richardson, because he hasn't done anything. I mean, you've got to, first of all, if you want to trade him, you got to somehow raise his stock so you get something in return. He was a number 4 pick in the draft. If you just give him away for a 6th-round pick or a 5th-round pick, whatever that might be, you're basically just completely trashing a 4th selection in the draft, number 4 overall pick in the draft 2 years ago. And for Chris Ballard, he can't handle any more black marks. I mean, his record in drafting has not been good. That's why the Colts are in the situation they're in. Now they're trying a little different route. They're trying to fill some holes through free agency. But a lot of the problem with the secondary is because the Colts have not been able to scout or identify talent at the corner or even the safety position. And this goes all the way back to late in the Ryan Grigson era. But you can go back to 2017, Quincy Wilson, 2019, Rock Ya-Sin, And Kari Willis, Marvell Tell, remember that name? Couldn't figure out if he was a corner or a safety. In 2020, got Isaiah Rogers. Of course, he ended up with problems and ended up gone. 2021, Sean Davis, a draft pick. 2023, Darius Rush. And then Juju Brents. And he was one of the surprise casualties of the cut day. And a lot of people didn't expect Juju Brents to be cut, but he has been often injured and just hasn't been productive enough. And with a new defensive coordinator, you've got to win him over. And you've got to be able to play his system the way he wants things done. And Juju Brent's probably not the fit for Lou Anarumo. And so Juju Brents is gone. That means that Chris Ballard really has not had a significant pick. In fact, maybe the best defensive back that he's had over the last 8 years might just be Nick Cross. I mean, I don't think you can call Rodney Thomas a big pickup. You know, sometimes it's where they're drafted. Rodney Thomas, I think, was what, a 7th round pick? He was late in the draft, 6th or 7th round. But no, there's a lot of buzz when you go through the Colts' recent years in the NFL draft. But what do you think the Colts should do now with Anthony Richardson? Does he ever bounce back from not one, but 2 benchings? Of course, we all know about the tap out. Needed a breather on a big 3rd down play. Or, the fact that he didn't see the rush coming off the end. An unblocked free rusher, he never even saw it coming, and it was on his front side, not his back side. Shouldn't have been a big hit like that when they're not coming from the blind side. But Anthony Richardson's just not ready to be an NFL starting quarterback. The Colts realized it. Shane Steichen wasn't going to put his job at risk. He was going to go with the safe pick, and that's the guy that provides the consistency. Might not have as high a ceiling, but he's got a lot higher floor, and that's Daniel Jones. And so Daniel Jones will be the starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. What do you think the Colts should do with Anthony Richardson? Do they trade him? Do they keep him around as a 2nd round pick? I'm sorry, as a 2nd stringer, a number 4 pick in the draft, mind you. But what should the Colts do? Give me a comment. Just add it right below the video, and we'll get to that on our weekend edition of the Sports Rush. Once again, coming up tomorrow night, we've got the high school football picks of the week, 4:30. It will be announced. And then on Friday night, be sure to join Shannon Griffith and I for the action from Carroll High School at Center Grove. The Trojans take on the Chargers. Should be a fun Friday night of high school football presented by Midwest Box Breaks. Hope you tune in at 1380 The Fan on 100.9 FM. Have a great rest of your week.